So we're officially in February. The first month of 2026 is done. And I know you're probably thinking to yourself, I don't really feel like I achieved that much in January. You feel like you've been putting things off because secretly you don't know where to start when it comes with your health and fitness. The rest of your life is so jam-packed, full to the brim with work, social life, family, that your health and fitness just gets pushed to the bottom of the pile. Now February's rolled around and you're thinking, I really need to do something about this. If that's you, then this video is exactly where you need to be right now. My name is Georgia and I'm a women's online health and fitness coach. I work with high-powered corporate women who are ready to step into their ultimate power across all areas of their lives. The women I work with have tried it all when it comes to losing weight, and they're ready to finally crack the code on something that works alongside their lifestyle rather than against it. And that's exactly where I come in. So in this video, I'm going to be running you through exactly what you need to be doing if you feel like you haven't quite got the momentum that you want yet in 2026. Because yes, January is already gone, but we're still only in the beginning of February, which means that you have so much time to make a change. So it's time to act now. So with that being said, let's get straight into the video. So what I find always happens when clients are sitting in that overwhelmed feeling where they're wanting to take action, but they almost don't quite know where to start, is actually knowing what you're working with on a week-to-week basis. Quite often we can fly through life when it feels so busy without even coming up for a breath to realize what's actually going on. So the first thing that I want you to do, starting this week, is to map out your entire week, day by day, when you're working, when you have appointments, when you have client dinners, other social events, and ultimately highlighting when you have some spare time in your calendar. Because quite often what happens is we fill that spare time with things like scrolling on social media, procrastinating, and things that ultimately aren't serving us and aren't getting us closer towards our goals. So first of all, it's time to call out that dead time in your calendar. Look at where you actually have time to give. This might be more or less than you think, and that's okay. The first thing we need to do is get really realistic about it. So for example, if you finish work at 6 o'clock, your commute takes you an hour, you're home at 7. By 7:30, you've had dinner. You have the rest of the evening. So realistically, what are you doing between 7:30 and 11 o'clock? You're probably either watching TV, scrolling on your phone, or a combination of both. And if you're currently watching this video shaking your head, I dare you to go and look at your screen time, because I promise you, you're going to be shocked. My point here is you have time, but until you get organized with your time, it can be hard to acknowledge when those pockets of time are. Now, I'm not saying you need to use from 7:30 till 11 p.m. training in the gym, but could you utilize half an hour for some steps, which you could easily do from home on a walking pad? Or if you don't have a walking pad, there are literally so many follow-along walking workouts on YouTube, so you have no excuse. Or could you do a 30-minute home workout? So I want you to look at the time that you have available and how you can use that more effectively. And with this, it's all about starting small. It's very easy to realize, oh, actually, I do have time to dedicate to the gym if I could give up 2-3 evenings a week of watching TV. But that in itself can seem overwhelming. So starting small with something like booking yourself onto a class once a week, doing some follow-along workouts from home, or trialing 1 or 2 days in the gym is a really good place to start, where you don't have to feel like you're giving your whole life a complete overhaul. And ultimately what you're doing can work within your already busy schedule. Equally, you could be using the time that you have to prep some meals or get organized with your meals for the following day. If you're not someone who wants to prep meals for an entire week, could you use your evening once you've had dinner to prep your breakfast for the next morning so you know you can get some protein and fiber in first thing? Ultimately here, it's all about those small actions that are going to compile over time to equal really, really big progress. So hopefully by now you've got some ideas, but I want you to look at actually what you want to prioritize. Because once again, I know that right now your schedule is bursting at the seams, and the last thing you need is a huge to-do list of things to do with regards to your health and fitness once you've finished work. So I want you to start this month with focusing on literally 2 or 3 of these things. So to give you an example, that might be prepping your breakfast each night after you have your dinner and trialing 2 days of 30-minute home workouts. I want you to give yourself at least 2 weeks of doing these things consistently. So whatever you pick to prioritize, I want you to give yourself 2 weeks. That's going to be your trial period. After those 2 weeks, I want you to look back and look at how consistent you've been with that. If you haven't been very consistent, is there something that needs to change? Is there a better, more efficient way that you can do that? Is there something else you can try instead? And if you have been consistent after those 2 weeks, I want you to look at the progress you've been seeing. If progress is moving well, you can continue with those same things. If progress isn't moving as you want it to, we're going to scale up. So it might be that we prep breakfast and lunch. It might be that you track your calories for the following day so you're prepped and you're organized. Or it might be that instead of doing 30 minutes of steps, you do 40 or 45 minutes of steps. Because ultimately, with a busy lifestyle, your plan needs to flex around you and not be the other way around. Because there are some weeks where we have time to get lots of these things done, but there are going to be other weeks where we don't have that time. So having this constant process of evolving your plan, dependent on how your lifestyle is looking, means that you're going to A, be more consistent, and B, build something that fits with your lifestyle long term, so that you can make this year about seeing more results than you have ever seen with regards to your health and fitness. So in summary, the steps I want you to follow in order to turn things around in the month of February is going to be: number one, mapping out your week, looking at what time you have available and where you have that dead time in your day, where ultimately all you're doing is sitting, scrolling, procrastinating, watching TV. Because let's be honest, we all do it. We call it decompressing, but actually we can get that same level of decompression by doing some steps or doing a gym session. Once you've identified the gaps in your schedule each week, I want you to look at how you can utilize that time. And I want you to select 2 to 3 small things to start prioritizing first. Then we're going to work on scaling this up and continually assessing this over time. And this last part is what I call my 1% framework that I work on with all my one-to-one clients. So if you're looking for a bulletproof method that is mapped out, that runs seamlessly underneath you to complement your lifestyle and get you in the best shape of your life in 2026, the link for my one-to-one coaching applications is down below this video. Fill that out, and if you're successful, I'll pop you a message and we can talk through your goals in a little bit more detail. Remember that yes, we are already 1 month into 2026, but you still have time to turn it around. And all of these things are literally steps that you can go and implement today to start seeing progress in a way that fits around your schedule. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.